Welcome, dear viewers, to yet another episode of the Coils of Destiny, recorded live on twitch.tv/engaged family gaming every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a family-friendly adventure that beckons you to join us on a journey of magic and might. As we weave our story, we encourage audience participation, so your cheers, ideas, and insights in the chat will shape the world and challenges our heroes face. I'm not lying. I'll take advantage of that. You can dive into the tales of Mike, the ever awkward wizard, Preston, whose spells are as unpredictable as his antics. You may notice that he is not here right now, but his window is here to tell us that he will be here. The only downside is that he's kind of shoving all our windows around. So I guess I'm technically Billy right now, but I'm really not Billy. So just give it a minute. Also, Marie playing the fierce field general Talia Tollwave, whose mere presence can turn the tides of battle. Amanda playing Odivera, the cleric with a divine touch for both healing and the culinary arts. Dana, who is playing Aurora, the gothic ranger with unerring aim most of the time. And Jeff, who has recently joined us, playing Billy, the rogue with circus tricks as sharp as his blade, and leading them all is Linda, playing Pin, the steadfast party leader. Prepare yourselves, everyone, for a tale of wonder, danger, and camaraderie. Let the adventure begin. So, when last you met our plucky heroes, they were chasing some pickle thieves who happened to abscond with their barrel of freshly gifted pickles into a forest clearing, and having none of that, our brave adventurers went immediately on the chase and found themselves in that clearing and began to do battle with a motley crew of bandits, including a dwarf with a crazy crossbow and some dudes carrying logs around and a very, very drunk man. But they did not see the wizard, who came from around the corner and blasted them all with a fireball and almost took out Preston, but he mostly made it. Thankfully, Odivera did some healing things because that's what she does. And where we left ourselves on our cliffhanger, two things happened. One, Talia put the dwarf in a headlock, and he's been stuck there for 2 weeks. It's all, I'm wondering, is the head getting up to his brain? We don't know. We'll find out. And then Rory got stabbed by a guy that none of them saw. It was wild. But that was where our adventure stopped. And we are still in initiative order. So to remind everyone what the order is, the top of the order is Billy, followed by Rory, followed by Preston, then Odivera, then Pin, and then Talia, who is currently holding that man by the, I don't know. I mean, you can have him a headlock, you got maybe a full Nelson. I don't know, you can decide. She is grappling him.
Air hug.
It's an air hug. Whatever. So, the last thing we did was Rory getting stabbed, and that was at the end of the turn. So now we are actually going to pop up to the top of the order and go to Billy. Billy, your friend was just stabbed. What are you going to do about it?
Well, I can't reach the person. Quick question. Since the one dwarf is in a headlock, he's flat-footed, right?
So flat-footed doesn't exist in this game anymore. However, you do have advantage. So he is not prone either, but but you do have advantage on melee attacks to him. So you get what you want, just not for the reason that you think. So if you want to run up on him and give him a stab, you are welcome to do so because you have advantage on the attack roll because he is currently grappled by one of your companions. Prone would be if Talia decided to knock him prone. She could do that. That's just a different thing.
So, and if I have advantage, I get sneak attack.
Correct.
Okay. That is what I needed to know. And I am going to move here.
You also technically get sneak attack anytime one of your allies is within 5 feet of a target, which is, considering there are 6 of you total, going to be quite often.
Oh, wait. I get sneak attack if I have 5 feet within a target?
If one of your allies is within 5 feet of a target, your attack will deal sneak attack damage.
So the guy that just stabbed Rory.
Yes, as long as
all right,
you can hit him.
Let him know. Yeah, I can throw a psychic blade his way.
Mm-hmm. He is within 5 feet of one of your friends. More or less, rogues are balanced under the assumption that they're gonna do sneak attack damage once per turn.
All right. I'm going to throw a psychic blade his way.
Okay, so you're going to throw it at the guy that just stabbed Rory. Vengeance. Yes. Vengeful psychic knife.
We'll see. The D20s weren't my friend last time.
I mean, well, listen, that's all right. That's all right. That is, I see a 22, and that is good enough to hit.
All right. 4. Okay. Actually, it would be, I'd get 2 extra sneak attack dice on that too, so it would be 3d6.
Correct.
For 12 damage.
Well done. So you throw that psychic knife, and it hits him right in the chest. Not in the, like, bad part of the chest, but, like, the other side. So it hurts quite a bit. Kind of reels a little bit, throws his arms up in the air, and you hear a ah!
All right, I'm going to throw another psychic blade at him.
I'll allow it. Largely because the rules don't prevent me from stopping, and don't allow me to stop it. So, that's a 16?
16.
Okay, so that's going to be good enough to hit. Also, right. I am going to ask, this is one thing that I'm remembering. I would like you guys, I will be quiet, I would like you guys to tell me your numbers when you get them, because it makes my life a whole lot easier. Because I'm already, if you could see the number of screens I'm clicking through right now, you would feel very bad for me and my ADD. This is hard. So, yes, a 15 is good enough. Remember, sneak attack damage once per turn. However, you do get to hit him.
Yep, for 5 more hit points.
Great, yeah. So, you go once, and you hit him. The other one doesn't quite hit the same spot. The first one was, like, right in the meaty bits. The other one hits on the shoulder, like, right, kind of right where it connects to his upper arm. And you see him just kind of reach over and grab it, and it looks back at you and gives you like a scowl. And kind of growls at you a little bit. Not like an animal growl, but like a, wow, dude, you just stabbed me twice growl. Like, I don't know how to replicate that, but we can go with it. So that is Billy. Next up is Rory. So you just got stabbed. What are you going to do?
Yeah, rude.
I mean, technically you were stabbed 2 weeks ago.
This is fair.
It should be healed by now.
So something that I only relatively recently learned about my character, because I've never played a tiefling before. When he hit me, could I technically have done a reaction?
No. So you can't react unless you have an ability that reacts to damage.
Yeah, I do.
What is it?
Hellish Rebuke.
Okay, so what does that do?
So it's when you take damage by a creature within 60 feet of you that you can see. You point your finger, and that creature is damaged momentarily by hellish flames. They have to make a dexterity saving throw. And
okay, you can do that.
2d10 fire damage on a failed save and half on a successful one.
Sure, okay.
Okay, so dex save to what, my spell casting?
He rolled really good, so I'm gonna guess that it's not gonna work.
Well, no, he still takes half damage.
Okay. So 1d10.
Well, it's 2d10 just halved.
Sure.
He takes 1 point of damage. What the heck?
You bump him on the head.
So that is one. So we're, you know what we're gonna call that? We're gonna call that a heckish rebuke.
Did I
Can't even. It's like HE double hockey sticks.
That was I got bonked on the head and spun around blindly and tried to hit him. and barely
And you
hit
hit him with your cloak.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, so
that was my
you
reaction.
know what?
That's not an actual.
So all right, so we'll play it off like this. So he stabbed you. It took you a moment to like align yourself because like homie stabbed you and was invisible beforehand. And then Billy threw 2 knives, and then you were like, "Oh wait, I can hit that guy." And then so you went to like backhand him, and it didn't work. So I mean, you hit him. He took the damage. He kind of just gives you some side eye. Not quite a growl.
Can I do my action now, though?
Well, it's your turn, so yeah.
Okay.
That was a reaction.
Okay. I have to move out of melee to shoot him, right?
I would say yes. I'm gonna look it up later, but for now, in this moment, yes.
Disadvantage if I don't. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pray that he doesn't actually hit me on the way out.
Okay. So, what is your armor class?
16.
Okay. So, he attempts to stab you as you move out of range, and hilariously, he stabs with his knife, and he stabs as you are kind of turning to run away, and your cloak just kind of gets wrapped around his hand and takes his knife with it. So he just goes to stab, and you disarmed him by moving.
So
And he's just
that one too. Awesome.
So he's just very confused. But yeah, so you successfully moved. Where did you go?
I don't know.
Wait, did you just delete yourself?
Maybe.
Let me go.
Well,
Wow. Let me go get.
I'm out of here.
Let me get from the loading. Let me just copy you from the loading page. Excuse us, everybody. We should.
He hit you so hard, you
You were like, I'm out, guys.
evaporated.
How hard was it?
Okay.
that's what,
Tell me if you
what's
can
right
move.
there.
Can you move? Can you move that character? Yeah, there we go.
Okay, that's where I was. That's where I tried to move to.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, I don't
where
know
am.
who the heck who the
He was
heck knows.
shooting him. Does a 16 hit?
It does.
Okay, awesome.
Oh, and remember, you get a plus 1d4 because you are blessed. Still. As are Pin and Talia. As that spell lasted 2 weeks. It was very impressive.
Nice.
Odivera is...
11 points of damage.
Okay, so you shoot him, and the arrow hits him almost in the exact same spot. So, like, this shoulder right here is just not feeling good for this guy. And so he kind of puts his arm on his shoulder and just kind of looks at you. And is, you notice the change turns from a scowl of anger to a slight look of concern. Next is Preston, and I'll be playing Preston for the moment. Preston has the jar of pickles, and he is going to walk this way and hide in the bushes. And I'm going to roll dice for Preston. Let's do a stealth check for Preston, everybody. Can I do it? I mean, of course I can. But... You know what? He's hiding on a 17, everybody. That's actually pretty good for Captain Awkward. Next is Odivera. Pin and Talia are on deck.
All right. Well, I know what I need to be doing. I gotta throw my bestie a big heal. Like a big heal.
Yes, please.
So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead for my action and cast Prayer of Healing, which will allow my bestie to regain 2d8 plus 8 hit points.
Big money.
Some big money, no whammies. Let me just type it all in here. Oh, of course I didn't do it right.
I believe in you.
Apologies. There we go. Damn, that was a crappy roll, but that is okay because it's 16 total.
Listen, it brought me up almost a full, so thank you.
I got you.
Just, you got to remember that that's why you're a life cleric. Because life clerics turn even crappy rolls into good heals.
Amazing ones. Yeah, it's true. Okay. Well, that is what I am going to be doing for my main action. And then I am going to go ahead and move back over here so that I am hidden. Well, not hidden, but out of line of sight.
I got you. Next up, Pin, Talia, you are on deck, and Billy, after some things happen, you'll be going.
Things are gonna happen. I'm gonna shoot with at the guy that stabbed Rory with my bow. Or I'm going to try at least.
Sounds good to me.
17 to hit.
That is good enough.
Woohoo!
For those keeping track at home, we're looking for a 16 or better on this guy. In case that wasn't clear, from all the 15s missing and the 16s hitting.
All right. And then
Hashtag math.
Hashtag math. And then does the bless get added to this or only saving throws?
It's any attack or damage, but I mean you hit him, so you don't need to worry about the bless. It's just not to damage. It's attack or saves or skill checks.
Didn't think so, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss an opportunity.
Fair enough. So you hit him. No sneak attack damage though. Yep. Okay,
because
so
nobody's nearby.
Correct, because nobody's nearby. So you shoot him with an arrow, and this one hits him right in the gut, and he just throws his hands in the air and just falls backwards like a snow angel, but not the pretty kind, and is just lying on the ground. And he has been, how shall we say, incapacitated. Where's the thing? Here we go. I want that. Not the skull. I want the red X. There we go. So that's your attack action. You still have a bonus action and a move action if you would like to.
I am going to move because I don't think any of my bonus action things, I could double move, I can hide. Am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something.
So you can move. So the best way to think about it is you can move, and then you can either move, hide, or you could technically disengage, but there's no reason to do that.
There's no reason to do that. I knew there was a third one. That's a disengage. I'm just going to move. I'm going to come over on the other side over by Billy because there's another guy to deal with over there. So, all right, that's where I'm going to go be.
Okay. So, next up, Talia.
Is the guy with the purple cloak still in play?
Yes.
Or is he dead?
Purple cloak guy over here? This guy?
Yeah.
Yes, he is still in play.
Well, clearly he's lonely. So, I'm gonna drag his friend to come say hello.
Okay. Okay. And as we talked about in our pre-show meeting, you got 15 feet of movement, however you want to shake it. Boom.
So that's just 3 squares.
And he's going to come with you. Technically, he's kind of like on the same spot as you, but it's really complicated to do that in Roll20, so I'm just going to leave him in the same relational area.
And I'm going to basically tell Purple Cloak, you seemed lonely, so I'm going to give you your friend back in the pickliest way possible. And he what that means on my next turn.
I'm very concerned, actually. So the purple cloak guy hears your taunt, sees you dragging his friend towards him, and hits you with a magic missile.
Okay. It's insulin in case everyone's thinking I'm doing drugs.
No, I believe you. So he hits you for. So he points his finger at you menacingly, and 3 magic missiles fly and hit you square upside the head for 10 points of force damage.
Okay.
Pink, pink. Well, how's that for a pickle? He says. And then he disappears.
It's like 2.
That's unfortunate.
Merciful.
Next, the dwarf who is currently in a headlock is going to attempt to wrestle his way free. Talia, we got to make opposed strength checks. This is not going to go well for him, I don't think. It does not. You don't even need to. I mean, you can roll if you want to flex, but he rolled a 3. So,
Okay.
so you feel him.
I
Go ahead.
win regardless because I have +2, I think, but I will.
More than that. 4. Because you're
Oh.
strong now. Remember, you have the gauntlets of ogre power, so you are stronger than you used to be. You gotta tell
Yes.
if you rolled, you
I
gotta
won
tell me
with
the
a
number.
6.
Hey,
Okay.
listen. Strong is strong. So here's what happens. So he is the dwarf that had the crossbow. Now it is worth mentioning, he has not let go of said crossbow. So what he does is he kind of just tries to stick the crossbow in between the two of you and try and use it like a lever to pry you off. And really all it does is it slides weirdly along your armor, and he's just like prying it against his jaw. And he's just like, "Argh." So it just
Never
didn't go
known the
well.
touch of a woman, have you, bro? And
No.
that'll be edited out.
That'll be edited out probably. That's okay. So he's trying to pry you off with his crossbow, and it does not work. In fact, he kind of hurts himself a little bit. Not enough to like hurt, but his pride is definitely hurt. He is unsuccessful at getting out. And the guy in the red kind of sits up a little bit and just looks at everybody. Can I have, from Billy and Pin, I would like insight checks from the two of you.
All right.
Well, this will go well. We're not very insightful.
Never know.
I didn't pick you guys for any particular reason other than you're the closest.
18.
What about you, Jeff?
13.
Okay, Pin. He's not drunk.
Yes.
He is absolutely faking it. He is, as he sits up, you notice he's definitely sitting up a little too well to be as pass out drunk as he alluded to previously. You've seen your share. You live in a sailor city. You know what I mean? You've seen guys that were blackout, like needed medical attention.
He doesn't have the glassy eyes. And
He does not have that.
Yep.
So he's just kind of sitting up. He's just kind of like sitting up, like leaning against the wagon. It is worth mentioning, he's not moving. No hands on his weapons, but he definitely is no longer prone, and he is sitting up, leaning against the wagon. Billy, I don't know, drunk dude sat up. you know, he's just checking things out. As the, excuse me. So as soon as he sits up, though, you do notice that the fog that is rolling around the ground does two things. One, it starts to spin a little bit, almost like the circle of this clearing that you were in. Just imagine it was like a whirlpool, and the fog was just kind of slowly spinning in a counterclockwise direction. And also, it gets incredibly cold. Everyone whose feet is on the ground, you take 2 points of cold damage.
Ooh.
And, excuse me, Amanda, I would like you to make a concentration check.
All right.
Oh, and as the mist starts to move, you all hear a hiss off in the
Checking
distance.
against my wisdom, right?
Well, it's a Constitution save, so it's actually concentration is a Constitution save.
Thank you. Good thing
More
my
or less.
con is not terrible.
It's like they do that on purpose with clerics,
Almost like I rolled an 11.
and that is good enough
All right.
by this many. So,
yeah, I figured.
So your bless is still active. Everybody else, like I said, you took 2 points of cold damage, unless you're a Goliath, I guess, at which point you only take 1. No Goliaths here. Anyway, top of the order.
I'm bloodied.
Whoa, top of the order, Billy. Then Rory, then Preston, etc. Billy, what are you doing?
All right. I am going to move over here.
Okay. You guys do kind of get a little bit of a better view. Let me clear up some space, because you guys should definitely be able to see.
And I am going to attempt to hit the guy Talia's holding.
Sorry, Percy is
Wow.
not on screen, but
It's Percy being Percy.
yeah.
With my rapier. Rolled a 23.
That's good enough.
And then I get sneak attack because I got advantage, right?
Correct.
All right. So a total of 15 damage.
Okay.
And then I'm going to throw a psychic blade at him as well. Oh, I guess I don't need to throw him. I'm right here. Gonna hit him with a psychic blade.
Okay.
For a got 20. Not nat 20, just a 20.
Sure. So that's good enough.
Or 4 damage.
Okay, so you hit him, and as as you roll up with the rapier and the knife, you hear a muffled, "I yield, I yield, I yield," and he drops to his knees and drops his weapon.
I wanted to throw him at his friend.
I mean,
There's no
you
cops.
Still can.
I mean,
I don't
uh,
go for it, I guess.
y'all can
Bake him cookies if it goes badly.
So, you monsters. Next up is Rory. Rory, what are you gonna do?
Did I hear him say that?
You heard like muffled shenanigans, but you did see him drop his weapon and drop to his knees, and he's kind of like being held up. She's holding him up by his neck.
Okay.
But he definitely, I think that it is reasonable that you saw him surrender. You just didn't hear anything, because he dropped his weapon and tried to drop to his knees. He's just short.
Okay. Then I will move here. And I guess I will just knock an arrow and hold my action in case anybody else decides to try to be hostile.
So, in 5th edition, if you choose to, hold isn't a thing anymore. So now what you would be doing is readying an action. So what I'm hearing is that you're readying an action to shoot someone that makes an aggressive attack at one of your friends or you.
Correct.
Cool. I just want to be specific because it's the way that readying an action worked. It used to be that you could hold and you would come out of initiative order and then slot in whenever you did stuff. Now you are technically taking the action to ready an action, right? And then when someone does something aggressive, you then have the opportunity to take your action at that time, but it doesn't pull you out of initiative order. So it's different than it used to be in 3 and 3.5. And I have no idea what happened in 4th because that was a different thing.
No one.
You gotta be careful. Listen, the 4th edition heads will come out and defend it. However, I just don't know. So you have readied an action to shoot an arrow at whoever takes an aggressive action against your friends, and that is totally okay. Next is Preston, who is going to continue to hide with the pickles. Next is Odivera, followed by Pin and Talia.
Okay. Is there anyone left for me to fight?
From what you can see,
Which ain't much.
there is, you can't really see anything right now because your
Not currently.
back is to a tent. So technically you don't even know that other guy surrendered. You would not be unaware of that. You would not be aware of that because Rory saw it because he went limp, but it's too far away for you to have heard. But you know that the guy that was dangerous over here is gone, and you don't know where the fireball came from. So I would think that you would still think you were in danger.
Okay. And that's kind of how I'm feeling too. All right. Well, I'm going to use this opportunity to cast my spiritual weapon, which is the first time I've done this in a minute. As a reminder, it is a mace. And let me go ahead and I'll just cast that. Spiritual weapon. All right. Okay. So I am going to go ahead and roll to hit.
I think I actually I think I actually found a asset for
I think you did.
I think I have one, but I actually even found more. Let's see here.
That's incredible.
But go ahead, I'm sorry.
All right. So I can make a melee spell attack. All right. My melee isn't great, but we're going to try it anyway.
So where are you summoning it?
All right, so I'm going to go ahead. It has a 60 feet radius range.
Yep.
So it casts nearby and I can just throw it 60 feet.
Sure. At who?
So I'm going to come and move over here and I don't know, crossbow man, you know. I'm going to smack him.
Okay.
That seems reasonable, right? I didn't know that
You did not.
that he doesn't want to play anymore. It's fine. All right, let's give it a shot. That is not a great roll for me, though. That's an 8.
So you swing at him and do not hit him. He is, it just kind of nudges against him while Talia is holding him steady.
Man.
Next up is Pin, followed by Talia.
Billy looks at Talia and goes, "Did you just feel a slight breeze?"
Oh, you're muted.
I see how
Linda.
it is.
Sorry.
It's okay.
My plan is to cast magic missile at the red shirt guy.
All right.
And I'm going to also call out to my companions, keep an eye on this one. He's more lucid than he let on.
Okay.
So, first missile, 5 points. Second is 3, and third is 4.
So
Oh,
Well done.
3 magic missiles pound into the guy who is leaning against the wagon, and just 1, 2, 3, and he's just beaten up against the wagon, and he puts his hand up and says, I yield, and then he just kind of covers his face like this with his arms. Next up, next up is you, because that was your action. You still technically have several things you can do because you're a rogue.
Because I'm a rogue and can do roguey things. So I can still move. I'm actually going to move closer and have my bow drawn to kind of keep the kind of guard on him, if that makes sense. So just have it ready. I know I can't actually do an action in this turn, but just
Sure.
Menacingly have it, out for him, and that's where I'm going to stop.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure. And next up is Talia. You are muted, or something happened. I don't know. Your cat unplugged your.
Purple cloak is I can't see him.
You cannot see him.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to drop this guy just kind of like with as much force as possible against the ground.
Sure. Amanda will be right back. She had a blue screen of death. Well, her computer did. Amanda is fine. Just want to clarify.
It was an important clarification.
Yeah, Amanda is okay. Okay, so you have this guy in a headlock. He gave up himself, right? Like he dropped his weapon. He tried to drop to his knees and just kind of didn't, just because of the way you were holding him. And you just kind of lift him up and just drop him just flat on his chest. And as he hits the ground, clearly the wind is knocked out of him as he starts kind of rolling around, holding his stomach, trying to breathe in. And after a tense couple of seconds, he takes like a big gulp, gasp of breath, and then just kind of rolls on his back and looks up at you like this.
All right. I'm just going to I'm going to turn back to Billy just because that's the safest position.
Okay. And you're going to grapple him?
Yep, I'm going to grab Billy and do the same. No. I'm just going to just
Like throw the gnome.
the purple cloak is still out there. He just disappeared. I don't know. Maybe the magic people can do something about that.
Maybe the magic people.
I mean, listen. Sounds reasonable to me. So,
Not my circus, not my monkeys.
literally. So, the circus was 2 weeks ago. So
Not my circus either.
So he's rolling on the ground. You say, after you say, Purple Cloak is out there, he just disappeared. The dwarf guy kind of sits up a little bit, pushes his weapon away, holds his hands up and says, "We surrender. All of us surrender. Take whatever you want. Just let us live." And then the red guy says, "Yes, absolutely. We surrender. We just took pickles. We didn't think you'd miss them."
Well, now you know.
And he kind of slides his sword that was like on the bench / chest that he was sitting on, and just kind of slides it on the ground. Go ahead, you can take my sword if you need to. Just let us live. And as soon as the sword hits the ground, you notice that the fog just starts to clear away, and you hear the hiss that was kind of accompanying that fog just kind of fade away off into the distance. And now it is Billy's turn. I will present you guys 2 choices. You can stay in initiative if you so choose, or you can wander about the tent area and do as you please. I will tell you, and then we can get an initiative again if we have to. What say you, Pin? You're the leader. Are we in initiative or are we out?
I say we drop initiative. And
Fair enough.
Just wander around. Okay.
We're dropping initiative, so here we go. You guys can feel free to wander around. You have a dwarf with no crossbow. He is officially no longer crossbow dwarf because he does not have one, because he put it on the ground. And the red guy is not moving. The dwarf guy stands up and just walks over to the table that the pickles were on and just pours himself a drink. And he's just sitting there. And the red guy is not moving at all because Pin is like right in his face. And he is quite nervous. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna follow the dwarf and just go. Who's that purple guy that was with you? Where'd he go?
Oh, I mean, he probably isn't coming back for a while. That's just that's Alistair. He's kind of a coward.
Have you seen or heard snakes around Alistair before? Have you had this fog that was just all around us occur before?
What fog?
You didn't see the fog all
What fog are you talking
around?
about? This is a clear day. What fog are you talking about?
And I looked at my companions. There was fog around here. It wasn't just me that saw it.
You said that when the
You wouldn't
guy
want to
dropped
lie
the
to me, would
sword-
you?
What? No. Why? Where was there fog? It's been a sunny day.
Would it be an insight check to see if he's telling the truth?
So we'll start with an intimidation check from Talia. If you can intimidate, you gotta back it up with dice. And then yes, an insight to see if he's lying. Dana, you were asking if the
You had said that the fog started to go away and the hissing stopped when the guy dropped the sword, correct?
Yes,
This
I
is
did.
bad, guys. This is very, very
Did
bad.
any-
My charisma is an 8.
What is that correlation?
I mean, speaking as the dungeon master, I'm just gonna say I didn't intend to imply a correlation. It was the end of combat when the stuff went away.
Okay.
I got a 12.
I mean, he's mildly
Am I still
scared.
blessed?
No, you are. Yes, you are still blessed. You're still blessed.
Well then, hang on.
You can go ahead and use that. He is concerned. I mean, you did put him in a headlock, and now you're giving him the people's eyebrows, so he's like a little nervous. How was the insight
15.
checks? What, 15? All right, so he's scared. I mean, no, there was no fog. This is a clear and sunny day, so he has no idea what you're talking about. Who rolled insight stuff?
I rolled a nat 20 on insight.
He is 100% convinced that there was no fog. This is a clear and bright and sunny day. He has no idea what you're talking about.
So I use our conference call to tell Rory and Pentago he knows nothing about this fog we just saw.
Interesting.
That's really concerning. So either somehow he was kept oblivious to it, or it's just us that can see it. And I don't know which one's worse.
Are we cursed? Is that a thing? Is this what's happening now?
I don't know.
Not cursed, but I feel kind of crappy. Bloody.
You want to tell the nurse.
So, as far as the question, are you cursed? I can't answer that, but
think the answer
I'm out in game.
Yeah, find out in game. But also, what I can say is he is 100% being honest. He does not know. So, what all are you guys gonna do? Amanda's computer is still struggling to come back up, which is no bueno, but we'll deal with it.
I mean, we just wanted our pickles back. And I feel like these guys may have learned their lesson.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We learned. Don't take pickles from strangers.
Don't take anything from strangers.
What? Wait. Fine.
Bad. I will find you.
What? But
I know what you
Well.
smell like now.
that's unfortunate.
It is. Try stealing soap next time. Dang.
You said
Goodbye.
don't steal anything. That's a contradiction.
I'm full of
And he
contradictions.
takes another drink. That's a contradiction. This is confusing.
Yep.
I don't
So
know. Just
how long have you guys known this Alistair person?
I've known him for years. He's a coward.
And he is he like your little ringleader here of you pickle thieves?
No, well, first off, we're not pickle thieves. We just happened to steal these pickles.
Yeah, was thus pickle thieves. Like I didn't misspeak.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not what we are called. I guess maybe we'll
It
be the
is
pickle.
now.
Listen, fair.
And
I'm
I
not
guess
gonna. I'm not in a
Simon
position. I'm not in a position to argue. But I feel like that's kind of unfair. It just so happens that we stole pickles this time. He is not our leader. I am the leader. He's the coward. He's always done this. Whenever we get into a scrap, he throws a couple of spells and then runs. So I probably won't see him for a day or two.
Speaking of which, where's our wizard?
Keeping the pickles safe from head
Maybe
pickle
in the
thief.
Does anyone want to
pickles.
maybe let him know that
When
threat's gone?
as soon as the fog cleared, Preston and Odivera kind of came out, and he's holding the pickles. It's kind of got him underneath his cloak, though, so he's trying to be sneaky about it. But it's like he's either holding a barrel of pickles or he got 9 months pregnant in the last 2 rounds.
Congratulations, Preston. I understand the Fey realms have been kind to you.
He just kind of looks at you, gets very confused, and then he just kind of pats the pickles. I've kept them safe. So, you guys gonna... So
I think we should look around a little before we go, since we experienced the fog, we experienced that cold, we heard the hissing.
go ahead,
just-
take whatever you want. You can take my crossbow. And he looks at Talia. You can take my crossbow. It's a really nice crossbow. Or help yourself to booze in the tent. Just don't hurt us.
Where does your coward sleep?
He points at a tent that I want to click on. Hold on. There it is.
Okay.
He points at the tent on the far end.
All right, I'm gonna go. Let's go just poke around a little and just make sure there's no snake icons or altars or anything funky in his sleeping area.
Sure.
I'm gonna stay next to my friend, the head pickle thief.
That's probably a good
So
idea.
you look at the tent, and the tent looks like a tent that a wizard would sleep
No
in.
snakes.
You don't see. I mean, could I get? I would like a investigation check.
Sure.
But on it, like you throw open the flap, and it, a bunk, and there's a desk and some incense burning. You know, wizard crap.
Wizardy stuff.
That's the name of the episode.
You know, wizard crap.
21.
Okay, so you toss his room thoroughly, but neatly.
Okay, I'm being nice.
And it's wizard stuff, right? Like you don't specifically. I know that you are looking for snake iconography or anything like that. You don't see anything. His desk has his spell book on it. It is open. You can't read any of the. I mean, you can't like identify any of the spells, but they're abjuration spells, which is not anything that would involve like conjuring things or creating. It's just making shields and stuff is the most you can make of it without having to spend more time. And, you know, he's got a foot locker at the end of his bed. You open it up and a couple changes of clothes, 4 very, very bright purple robes that are just the same robe. So you can just kind of rotate through as he gets stank. And he's got a walking stick leaning against the end of his bed. Other than that, nothing. It's neat.
I'm going to turn
and
back
orderly.
to the group. Yeah.
Does anyone know how to detect magic?
Preston does, I'm sure. I mean, I don't
mean musically in here. I just mean like because
I can't imagine Preston doesn't have detect magic. Yeah, he has it.
Pretty sure he's used it before.
Yeah, Preston has detect magic. Do you want him to? Would you like me to detect magic?
I mean, I'm not in the tent. I was just thinking in general.
Sure.
I don't know really how it works. Hence the
He casts detect magic and starts to look around the camp to identify objects that are magical or to see magic. And he doesn't particularly notice anything.
Okay. Just checking because that would have led us into, and Odivera's not here. I was gonna say.
Well, I mean, I have her character, so.
Well, I was just thinking if we did a religion check for anything snake.
I mean, so she doesn't. So she has been looking around and doesn't see. I mean, none of you see any kind of snaky iconography. This just looks like a regular. It looks like a rather sloppy bandit camp. There's scorch marks over by one of the wagons from a fireball. There's some bloodstains on the ground from where people got hurt. In fact, if y'all recall, there was a guy bleeding out behind one of the wagons. And the there's nothing really that she would be. There's no religious iconography at all, let alone anything that she could identify to see if it was snaky.
Okay. All right. I feel like that's our due diligence.
Yeah. I don't know if there's much else we can.
They know anything.
I think we've kind of exhausted what we can do here. Unless you can think of something else, I think we just take our pickles and head back to the main road.
Right.
Yeah. I was gonna say we should probably get back to our wagon before somebody decides that the rest of our stuff is something worth stealing.
The possum is keeping an eye on our wagon.
You
Yes.
really think that a possum is gonna stave off a bunch of people?
No,
Preston,
but it would alert us if shenanigans ensued.
Preston takes a moment, passes his senses along to Truffles, and says confidently, "All's clear at the wagon right now."
All right, I am going to be as rude as possible and just completely tousle this the head pickle thief's hair and tell him to behave himself before I leave.
He kind of grunts a little bit, but he doesn't take any aggressive action because, you know, he's scared.
I know.
So you guys leave the campground, and as you kind of shove your way through the dense brush, you hear the guy in the red shirt say, "Oh no, they got him! They got him!" And he's clearly standing kind of over where the guy that attacked Rory was. And you hear him kind of call out to his friend, "We need a medic! We need a medic!" And hey, Amanda's back.
And you
Our
shower
medic
with me.
returns.
So we'll pause for a moment so we can see what Odivera does.
The medic more than he does.
I mean, the good news is that this means her computer did not completely implode, and that is a good thing.
Indeed.
I'm going to call that a victory.
An ode to victory.
That joke stinks.
Does it stink as bad as a barrel of rotting fish?
I don't know. I can't answer that. My guess is probably not. Probably not. So, all right. So we have a headset malfunction. We'll give it a moment. Preston is still detecting magic. He's just going to concentrate on that as he goes. He's looking around, not seeing nothing. Checking to see if... No text from Michael yet. You are muted, Linda.
Keep muting up because there's little noises in the house. I'm trying to keep it quiet and I keep forgetting. But yeah.
That's okay. It's
No
going to happen.
problem.
It's going to happen.
Yep. I'd rather be muted and have to be reminded than have random noises of the pitter patter of my not so small children.
Yeah, they don't really pitter patter.
It's
like-
hard when you have that many Lokis in the house.
It's true.
No, they're so mischievous.
They are.
How's it going, Amanda? Oh, I think we got something.
Yeah.
Yay!
You're muted.
You're muted, but in Discord. But still can't hear you. But this is fixable. It's probably Discord just being stupid.
Okay.
Whoa, yeah.
Hey. So I B-sodded. So I fixed it though. It just took a sec.
Because you're a genius. So the fight ended. You guys looked around. You searched the buildings to see if there was any snake paraphernalia. You found none. Preston has been detect magicking to see if there was anything magical about. There is not. One thing that I think you might have missed is that none of these guys saw the fog.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a big detail.
And it is genuinely, they did not see the fog. So as
Okay.
you were leaving with your barrel of pickles, they discovered the rogue guy that stabbed Rory, who was bleeding behind the wagon, and you heard red shirt guy yell, "They got him, boss! They got him! We need a medic! We need a medic!"
Okay. I find this deeply confusing.
That's just what we're hearing as we're walking away.
So as you guys walk away, you hear one of the bandits find the guy that
His friend.
you beat
Guy
up who attacked Rory,
Oh.
saying, looks like they got him. They got him. We need a medic. So,
Got it.
from one
Okay.
dungeon master to my player, I'm setting up a moral conundrum.
Seems like.
Because I'm tricksy like that. And it makes sense because I'm Billy this time. Right? So I'm tricky.
Okay.
I'm Billy right now because until Mike comes back, my window is where Billy's character is.
Well, I'm glad I made it back. Thank you for carrying on like I didn't leave. I appreciate that.
We never
I
saw you go.
genuinely
I don't
do.
know what you're talking about.
You've been here the whole time.
Yep.
Okay, I fixed it. I'm technically not Billy anymore. So I have to be super serial. So the question is, we have 2 people capable of casting healing spells. Are you going to push through the trees, or are you going to go back and help?
Ugh. Well, I can't just bloody well leave someone who needs it. Oh,
Man,
It's not a monster.
it's not.
You
It's
should
not a
go.
monster.
It's not a monster.
You just have
It's
to
a
give
guy
him
who did a dumb
one
thing.
hit point. You don't have to full heal him.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
get
this
him
is
up.
true. I do in fact have a cantrip that can do that.
Why don't we at least see if he still can be helped?
To be fair, he attacked us first.
It's true.
Okay, but maybe he got spooked. Maybe.
Here. He shanked your friend. I mean, it's your
Listen,
magic. You do with
Bestie?
it what you want.
Bestie,
Yeah.
I'm kicking this to you. You know
the
me.
other person who can heal him.
You know me. Yeah, I don't want you to heal him. He shanked you. That's no good.
That's fair.
Would it be grievously injurious to you if I did what I am called to do?
No.
Then
But
I will go and do
I
it.
think malicious compliance is in fair play here. You
That's fair.
get him up and keep him grievously injured.
Fair
You don't
enough.
have to heal him. Just
I'm
get
not
him
going to
up.
give him a full heal. You know what? That's a reasonable compromise. Thank you. I love you. I'm going to go and help.
Okay. So what are you going to do?
Well, I am going to go over there. And is he like dead? Like KO'd?
That requires dice. So I would
All
like
right,
you to make
well,
a heal check.
You betcha. Roll
So
for medicine, you say, eh?
So as you get closer, red shirt guy kind of backs up a little bit and says, "Are you going to help him? You're going to help him? I'm worried about my buddy."
That's a genuinely terrible roll from me. I rolled an 8.
Even the dice don't want you to do this.
You are unsure of his current state, be it living or dead.
Be it living or dead. Okay. If I cast Spare the Dying,
Mhm.
that will stabilize him. And it's a cantrip for me.
If he is unconscious and in death saves, Spare the Dying would stabilize him and
Would
prevent him from
stabilize.
needing to take death saves any further.
Okay. I'm gonna give that a shot and see if it works.
Okay? So you cast the
All right.
spell.
I do indeed. I have to touch him, so I gotta get close enough.
Yep.
Careful, they don't bathe.
Thanks, bud.
Yep.
Okay.
This wrote the next freaking great novel.
So you cast Spare the Dying, and you notice that the spell does take effect.
Okay. That's all I owed this. So,
Is that what you say to the red shirt guy?
pretty much. This was my calling. I needed to make sure that, I'm not wantonly murdering. So your friend is stabilized. I owe you nothing further. Do not follow us.
He just kind of, shakes a little bit and says, "Thanks for saving my buddy," and then grabs him and starts to move him into the center of camp.
Okay. We got our pickles though, right?
Preston
Is there
has
anything
the
else that we
Preston.
need to do here?
Well, you were already leaving.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's time to dip. I'm done here. Thanks, bestie.
We were already leaving, and we can't seem to find any additional information about the fog or the snakes. So I think the time here is over. Time to move on.
Okay.
Back
Back
to
to the
the
wagon.
wagon.
Let's blow this pickle stand.
So y'all head back to the wagon. You make it back to the wagon uneventfully. Anyone who looks behind you to see if they follow notices that they do not. And then you make it to the wagon, and as you approach, you see Truffles walking along the railing of the wagon, just kind of you just see him doing laps around the wagon in a very serious way. So whatever you imagine a possum, like just imagine a possum being very self-serious while doing something, that's what he looks like. And so he notices that you are approaching and stops, runs over and jumps onto Preston's shoulder. Preston somehow manages to heft the pickle barrel into the back of the wagon and climbs aboard. And so after a few moments, you settle, you check everything, you see that everything is where you thought it would be, including the pickles back where they were stored. And after a few moments, you are ready to go. Horses aren't spooked, nothing crazy is happening, and you're able to proceed. The remainder of your day progresses without incident. You are able to make good. You're able to make good time. The road is relatively smooth, and you pass off into the countryside. One thing that is worth mentioning is after close to dinner time, you notice that the trees kind of stop, and you are on a trade road with broad, far, just grassy fields in either direction. And so you can see pretty far in either way, and kind of far ahead of you. This is just a big, flat land. And it's just dominated by tall grass. Occasionally you see like a single tree off to the distance, left there by a bird flying a long time ago, that kind of thing. But no forests or anything like that. You eventually, the day turns to evening, and as the evening turns to night, you find what looks like a ready-built campsite for you, clearly left by previous travelers. There is a small fire pit. There are some logs that have been kind of leaned around, kind of pushed around it where you could find a seat. And you had been told that there were some of these kind of campsites that were just kind of slowly built by travelers over time, a little bit at a time. And people are encouraged to stay there. You're just encouraged to just kind of make sure that you leave it better than you arrived. Standard traveling campsites. You take care of the horses, pull the wagon in, set a fire, sit, and your evening begins. I would like you to tell me, I'm assuming you're going to have folks do watches, etc.
Of course.
So tell me, how do you do that?
Well,
We had set an episode or two ago. We had set up sort of a watch order.
I keep forgetting you guys need to sleep.
Yeah, it's
Weird.
handy. Let's see if I can find what we had done that last time. Because I believe
Aurora and I stayed up together because I don't have to talk, and she didn't like talking, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
I thought we rotated through who kind of sat with you. So
Yeah, no, that was it was more funny because we just
well, there's that.
We just sat in silence and it was fine.
yes
The sound of silence.
petted a crow or two. That was about as far as it got.
That's fair. I think I stayed up with you, didn't I, Pen?
I think so.
Yeah,
I clearly have too many notes because I'm not seeing it easily.
that's okay. You and I should take first watch.
That sounds great.
And then Rory and Talia,
Oh.
you guys good to take second?
I don't sleep. So
Okay, but you need to eat, so I'll cook dinner and then take first watch. And you can just sit there and eat.
okay.
I mean, that's nice, right?
Yeah, I guess. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. And then I guess the boys will
Building a
take
bookcase,
last
sorry.
watch if you're all right with that.
Sounds good with me.
Work? Okay.
Very dope.
Okay. So,
Preston's gonna sleep with his arms wrapped around the pickle jar.
100%. Preston and Truffles are just leaning against the wagon, not letting the pickles out of their sight. So, first watch is Pin and Odivera, while Pin and Odivera kind of make some food and get things ready. Second watch is the goth chick and the meditative one. You reach, kind of halfway through your watch. The night is chilly, but not cold. It's clear, not a cloud in the sky. Specifically, no fog, no snakes. Normal normal nighttime noises. Everything seems peaceful and pleasant. In fact, your whole evening from the time you set up camp until now has been pleasant. You've had casual conversations, kind of getting to know Billy. Preston didn't even say anything really dumb. Very, things have just gone really smooth. Truffles has scouted about to see what's going on. The first watch, completely uneventful. And now, so you get through the second watch, and all of you, and I would like to repeat, all of you fall asleep.
That seems exceptionally
I'm immune to
abnormal.
magical sleep.
This is weird stuff. So I will say this. Everyone falls asleep.
Crap.
You fall into a weird, deeper trance thing. Because y'all are going to have a shared vision. And I can't come up with a way to give you a shared vision. Unless you fall into a trance.
Okay.
Okay, Derry. Derry, okay.
So,
What now?
all of you wake up, for lack of a better term. You are not in your campsite. You are all standing unarmed in non-adventuring, day clothes, whatever you would normally wear on a day that you were hanging around your house or town. And even if you would normally be armed while walking around town, you're not this time. And you hear all around you the sound of what?
I said crafting.
Nope, you don't hear crafting all around you. You hear a jungle. So you hear wild animals and insects that you have not heard before, and the sound of wind and rain kind of passing through trees. But all around you, all you see is white. Just white, bright light. It's almost like you're standing. Just remember that scene in The Matrix where he's like, I want guns, lots of guns, but there's no guns. It's just you on an endless plane of white. And then, let me change the scene.
Tally's
for-
literally
Looting program? I'm very confused.
What?
This isn't Shadowrun.
Nope. We didn't change games. Give me a minute.
Seems pretty sus.
And then, just give me a moment to set things up for the players, or for the audience,
For
as it
everyone.
were. So you are, like I said, on a plane of pure white light. You can see each other clearly and the light fades away. And as the light fades into and to actually reveal your surroundings, you find yourself at the threshold of a circular stone temple. Instead of the vibrant colors of a jungle that you would expect, you see only shades of gray, leaving only yourselves in vivid color. The air is thick with tension, and the faint, persistent hiss of unseen serpents fills your ears. The walls around you are adorned with intricate snake-like images, their forms coiling and intertwining in a dance of shadows and light. So what you see is you are standing on kind of like rocky ground leading up to, so you're kind of at the threshold of this, what looks kind of stone temple looking thing. The stairs in front of you look like they have snakes kind of carved into them. And you can't, excuse me. And so you can see the wall kind of to your south. And so you're standing on kind of like a cobblestone kind of clearing. There is a cliff face to your north. And then there are stairs that go up and lead up to what looks like what maybe is a landing. At least the stairs don't go up any higher than what you can see. How do you proceed?
Pin?
I think there's only one way to go right now. There's only forward.
Can we just go back to bed? This feels like a bit of a nightmare.
I
Am I
wasn't
dreaming?
sleeping. I don't sleep. Like, this may be the most rattled you've ever seen Tally. She is freaking out.
The real question is, do I have cookies?
It's an important question.
I mean, you are, okay, so that is a very good question. You have no belongings on you other than your clothes. And this is just clothes that you would have worn around your house or town on a non-adventuring day.
I don't keep cookies in my pockets on the regular, so okay. All right. Sorry, Tally, I don't have any cookies for you. A soothing cookie would have been better. I'm sorry.
Eve, what's behind us? The stairs are
behind
in front of
you
us. Is there
is
anything obvious behind us?
Behind you is just white light.
Okay.
Just gonna stim for a second.
I
Sure.
slap you, you slap me.
Rory, punch me really hard.
Okay.
Rory!
What?
Damn, girl.
Oh, this got wild.
This got weird. Okay.
I'm just gonna stand and
do what
shake
Pin
my
tells
head as
me
the
to do.
shenanigans.
I'm just gonna do what Pin tells me to do. Pin, what are we doing? How do you want me to
Forward,
help?
up the stairs. Let's just.
Okay.
There's nothing behind us. Clearly, we're meant to go forward. If we're going to learn anything from whatever this is, we need to go forward.
Okay. Great. Tally? Can you lead the way?
Yes. Yes. I can do that.
Okay.
You're still big and strong.
Strong.
I mean, you've headlocked a bunch of people lately, so like you don't even
You're
really
still big and
need-
strong, even in this space.
All right.
We believe in
I'm
you.
I'm going first.
Okay.
All right,
So-
I guess we're going towards the stairs.
I can't move myself, so
Oh, you can't? Okay, well then that is a thing that we gotta fix. I can fix that. Crap. Hold on. Try now.
Other people move themselves.
Just don't
Everybody
forget
else,
your
yeah,
text.
everybody
Oh,
try
you know
to.
what? You know what? I'm not on select and move. Hang on, that's me.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. Good. Thank you,
All right.
everybody. Just try to make sure you can move yourself. I will be. Preston and Truffles are kind of over here on the side. I will be controlling Preston as necessary.
Okie dokie.
All right. Tally is moving forward.
Okay, so you reach the bottom of the stairs, and they are big, but not so big that you could not climb them with, a slight amount of effort. They're not like giant stairs. It just so happens this map is at a weird scale, but trust me, you can walk up the stairs, I promise. And you start climbing up the stairs, and any concern that you might have had about the stairs being kind of non-corporeal or, some other kind of weird things like that. Nope, the stairs, they be staring. And so as you climb up, do you stop before you reach the kind of landing at the top, or do you keep going?
I'll go up to the landing.
Okay. So that means I will reveal more. So as you reach the landing, I zoomed out way too far, everybody. Holy moly. Bear with me a moment here, folks. I think I broke my internet.
Ruh-roh.
It be like that. And
At least you didn't B-side your computer.
I didn't do that.
Still don't know how I managed that.
Magic. You feel magic all around you. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is just revealing everything. Because when you guys get up to the landing, you see the whole darn thing. And it's being a jerk and not letting me reveal it all at once. So bear with me, this is slow. But then I will show it to the audience also. And then I will read some prepackaged text. Because I like to read prepackaged text. Oh, actually, I don't really have to show too much to the audience because they can kind of see it. Would you look at that? It's almost like I did a good job. So, as you reach, moving deeper into the temple, the hissing grows in intensity, becoming a symphony of whispers. The words are unintelligible but laden with venomous intent. The stone beneath your feet seems to pulse with a life all of its own. The shadows cast by the snake-like carvings above the walls seem to to slither and shift, making the light dance along the floor. As you reach what appears to be a central chamber, the air grows dense, and the whispers and hisses intertwine into what sounds like malevolent laughter. The center of the chamber appears to be a massive pit. And as you look down, you do not see a bottom. What you see instead is roiling fog, smoke, mist, all sorts of different non-corporeal looking things that are kind of roiling around each other like a pit of massive snakes.
It's like.
And as you look longer, you notice that those misty shapes slowly form into one giant snake coiling throughout the pit. And its eyes fixate on you, piercing through your very souls. And the eyes start to gleam with a malevolent intelligence. Suddenly, blinding light erupts. and pierces the serpentine chaos. Its radiance fills the entire pit. And it stands in a stark contrast against the gray surroundings. Within the brilliance of the light, the shadowy forms of 6 heroes emerge, their outlines shimmering with a celestial glow, standing as guardians against the encroaching darkness. The light around them forms ancient, powerful words. No, you cannot read them, but they are clearly words. A beacon of hope amidst the malevolent shadows. The serpent thrashes, and its form dissipates into the shadows and mist below, echoing screams of frustration past you. In that pillar of light, the 6 figures seem to look over at you and then fade. After a few moments, dawn breaks, and the grip of the dream loosens on all of you. All of y'all, except for Talia, wake up. Talia, you were standing instead of sitting, but you're where you were sitting. You were just standing up. The world of sleep, filled with wandering thoughts, fades away. And as you open your eyes, or in the case of Talia, become aware of your surroundings fully, the soft colors of the morning greet you, but all of you remember the dream that you had.
Huh.
And you had a long rest. That didn't interrupt your rest. Just to clarify.
You said this happened during.
That happened.
Watch?
That happened in the middle of the night, more or less.
Okay. During my watch, so I technically would have been up too.
Or are you an elf? So the only person that has the trance thing that doesn't need to, everyone fell asleep, including you.
I know that. No, I know that, but I'm saying that we were taking watches, and was it during my watch that I fell asleep?
Yes.
Okay. So
But-
I would have been like, "Oh no, I am on the ground." I
Yes,
should have been
it
up
would be
and-
you. Yes, so yes, you would be like, "Whoa, I fell asleep on the watch. My bad." Talia, in whatever meditative pose she normally is in while she gets to watch the world and kind of rest for 4 hours in her trance, she notices distinctly that instead of sitting crisscross applesauce or whatever, she is standing up with her weapon in her sheath. Not in the position she was. Everybody else, sleep. You are more, you fell asleep just kind of where you were sitting. And absolutely are aware that that was not what was supposed to happen.
Right. I'll just tell you, I'm so sorry. I don't know what the heck happened. I fell asleep.
I did too.
Did you have a
This is
weird,
distressing.
black and white dream about snakes?
Yes. With all of you.
Yeah.
I
There.
did too.
Same here. Why does it have to be snakes?
It always has to be snakes.
Why sleep?
Callie, are you okay?
I don't sleep. It's disgusting. I'm sorry. I need a minute. I need a minute. Bizarre and unnatural. It's unnatural.
Bestie, do you have a cookie?
I do have a cookie. I also can calm emotions if you need me to, but I don't want to cast that without your permission. If you just want to sit like this, that's okay too. So here's a cookie.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I just want to. That's what you all. And then you just wake up standing up. This is.
Well, this wasn't normal.
No, we
No,
don't
this
wake up
is not
standing
what
up.
sleep- This is not what sleep is like for us.
No.
This was something else. We all had the same dream. That's what it sounds like. The black and white place, this hissing. Did you see those 6 people with the light?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
This was not sleep Talia. This was something else. I'm wondering, is this information force from those 6 people we saw? Because it
Do we
didn't feel
find
malicious.
those people? Didn't feel. This was.
And we just saw their silhouettes, right? We didn't see like actual people.
That is correct. You saw silhouettes of 6 people.
Did they look like our silhouettes?
That's a very good question. You didn't see them enough, and it was very disruptive because of the bright light surrounding them. I mean, there were an equal number of them as there are to you, and it was a prophetic dream. So, I mean, you can make weird leaps in logic if you want. I can't blame you. However, no, you did not see a shape that looked like Talia, Billy, Preston.
I was gonna say, did one of them look a little shorter than the others?
It was really hard to tell. It's way too early in the adventure for me to reveal that big of a secret. Jeez.
That's
But no.
fair.
Clearly
6
standing on a stool.
Oh.
Just forced perspective, you can't tell.
So we're all 3 gnomes in a trench coat. I mean, at this point.
Facts.
So, but you did see
How can you
6
go to my height?
figures. You saw 6 figures. They all kind of looked at you, and then they kind of faded away.
What was that place that we were in?
It was real creepy. I very much disliked it. Made me feel uneasy. But like
Reminded me of the
in a
catacombs.
in like a there are secrets here that I don't understand, and that makes me feel uneasy. Kind of way.
Yeah, I mean, it
So-
seemed like the central power, maybe temple, or just like home of whatever that massive snake was in the pit. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, just thinking about it gives me
Yeah.
the creeps. I don't want to think about it anymore. I
think
really
we're
don't.
gonna have to.
No.
I feel like we're being drawn into this whether we want to or not. We're coming in
Ugh.
kicking and screaming if we have to, but I think
Is it something that has happened before? Like, can I roll against my history to see if this is something that's happened before if I have any knowledge of this?
Specifically, what? I mean, absolutely, that's what history is all about. But what are you
Yeah.
looking for?
So specifically the place.
So
Have
you're
I
looking to
seen
see if
this
there's any
place
temples and any jungles.
Yeah.
I'm a battle master. I'd like to also roll with history, but like I want to be a little more specific. Like if great
Sure.
prophecies or something like that
Sure.
that might be related to this. So let
Sure.
me pull because
I
my
would like-
history
Well, let's
is
see if it works.
I would like history checks. So,
pulling
so
that out.
Talia is looking for to see if she recalls any prophecies, and Odivera.
My dice are cursed tonight.
Okay, well, listen, you know that there is a propensity for, you know.
So are Tilly's.
Okay, so you know that there is a propensity to have temples in jungles. So the fact that they showed you that, you're like, you know what? I bet you this tracks. There's probably some jungles, but you do not know of any specific temples in any specific jungles. However, I'm going to give you this. You do know that in the south of the continents, and you have seen the map because it is in the player's guide for the Coils of Destiny, there is a jungle that has been known to have temples in it. So you can even, if you were to look at that player's guide, say sometime in the next 2 weeks, you could probably figure out maybe where it was.
I rolled a 6.
Well, so
6. I slept through that class.
so you're thinking about prophecies. Somebody tell Michael that he can come in.
But I thought you didn't sleep.
Oh, she tranced through it. So
Busy making paper bookcases.
So you can't put your finger on any specific prophecy about 6 heroes and snakes or whatever, but you have a pretty good idea that maybe that's something you could look for when you get to the libraries in Blackwater. Like, That's a good idea. You just absolutely drawing fog when you think of anything specific, but not a bad idea to put that in a note, and with the help of a book, perhaps a librarian, because librarians are amazing.
They are.
And
Some of my favorite people are librarians.
so, with the help of a librarian and some guidance, maybe some time in the great libraries and the academies at Blackwater, you might have some better luck. Is Mike coming? No? All right.
Did he say it was? I mean, not.
Oh.
I just mean.
Well, okay, hopefully he doesn't log off, because then it'll throw off all the buttons. Okay, so.
Oh, he's going to bed.
Okay, good. So he can just leave it right there. He can just live in the Discord call and not throw everything off. That's perfect. So, did we have any other questions about the dream for the Dungeon Master? Or the trance, or whatever it was, the vision? So so it is worth mentioning, you did all have a full rest, which means a long rest, which means all of you are healed to full. You get your spells back, all of what that entails, which is good news. Quite exciting. And the rest of the morning moves uneventfully. You are able to have a good breakfast. I'm presuming you take time to clean up the campsite a little bit and leave it a little bit better than it was when you found it. And
That's the rules of camping.
It's the rules. Mm-hmm. And is anyone doing anything specific to the camp to make it a little bit better, or is it just, are we cleaning up? Are we leaving improvements?
Cleaning up, getting more kindling, if we can get that without too much trouble.
Oh, yeah.
The usual, like leaving the fire for the next travelers.
Fair enough.
Ready.
Yeah.
Do we have an extra, like, smaller, empty container of some kind?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
I'm going to take out a couple pickles and put them in a jar.
Oh.
And put it by the fire.
Oh,
as like a little welcome basket.
Totally. Who wants to roll a d12 for the food for the day?
I will.
Oh, who's doing it?
I don't want to. My dice are cursed.
So yeah, maybe Rory should do it.
All right.
Rory's rolling.
You said D12, right?
Yep. Roll a d12.
Oh no.
What'd you roll?
Oh, what?
Wow.
Well,
It's a one.
all right. So it's down to a d10.
Oh no.
I mean, that's not the end of the world, guys. It's okay.
Did we actually leave
Not
some
a one
pickles with the
stick.
thieves?
So we're at a 110. 1d10. So yesterday, between the pickles that you left with them and just, you ate, and, it was not as good of a hunting and gathering while you walk day as expected. And so your supplies dwindle ever so slightly.
It's because
The sun was coming up when you all woke up. And now, as the sun is fully risen, you start to move and begin to travel. You continue on the way. The road is exceptionally clear at this point. It's very smooth, not a lot of rocks in the road. This is, as we have said, a very well-traveled trade road between the capital and the center of the kingdom. After a brief period of time, your party continues down the dusty road, and the distant silhouette of a lone wagon emerges from the horizon. Over time, you hear the rhythmic clinking of metal and the soft hum of a tune as the wagon, pulled by two very sturdy oxen, covered in banners and fabrics, and you hear a man singing, and you hear his voice across the wind. "Oh there, travelers! I'm a humble merchant. Would you care to browse some wares from distant lands?" And you see this short halfling who is just extra fat, but very cheerful. He's got a big, like, yellow straw hat with all sorts of bright colors on the top of it. He is, and super bright clothes. If you didn't know better, Billy, you'd think he was traveling from some other circus. The wagon behind him is full of all manner of just stuff. Pots and pans, and you see a couple of weapons sticking out, musical instruments, food, all sorts of things. It is worth mentioning that he is by himself. And he hops down and comes over to introduce himself. And you notice, as soon as he hops down, he is a very short guy. Shorter than any halfling you've ever seen.
Shorter than me?
He's very short.
Huh.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying you're like Shaq to him, but like he's definitely shorter than you.
Interesting. Haven't seen that in a while. What a curiosity. Hello.
The name's Talos Brightcoin. And I'm a merchant from Blackwater. I'm making my way to Wavecrest. And I'm counting myself lucky to actually see people today. It's been a while. Were you... you're on the trade roads. Are you heading to Blackwater or somewhere else?
Heading to Blackwater.
Wonderful. You'll see that you'll find the roads are mostly clear between here and there. It's a long trip, but at least when I passed everything, things were smooth riding.
Excellent.
At least for
Glad
these
to
two
hear it.
guys. And he points two thumbs at his giant ox that are pulling his wagon. They're just comically large compared to how little he is.
I love that.
So, are you in need of anything? I have plenty of interesting things for sale.
Well, I don't know. We'd have to ask Pin about that. Pin, do we need anything?
We could restock our larders with a little bit of food.
I have plenty of food.
I think
And
that would be
so
a good
he-
use of our money.
Yesterday wasn't a great hunting day, so yeah.
It was not.
Oh, well. I mean, sometimes that'll happen on the fields. I mean,
You have,
It's
you have
not-
some provisions that will last. Dried.
yes,
meat or-
travel rations. Of course, we have
Travel
travel rations. So he
Sure.
like almost jumps and spins around, kind of trots over to his wagon, climbs up a ladder that you didn't really notice was on the side of his cart. And really, you just didn't notice it's just so much crap all over it. And he climbs up this ladder, and he comes down with like a small chest, and he opens it up, and in it are a bunch of kind of canvas bags. Listen, I've got 3 or 4 of these canvas bags, and I think each one of these should last you guys. You know, there's 6 of you, right? 7 if we count the critter. This should last. You know, each of these bags should last you guys a couple of days, I think, assuming nothing goes wrong.
I think those would be
Oh,
a
boy.
great addition to our.
I'm gonna knock on wood for that one real
Yeah,
quick.
seriously.
Yeah, you know, I should know better than to say stuff like that to travelers. That's just never. So that's my fault.
Never
That's
a good
my
feeling.
fault. I'd be happy to trade these with you.
What are you looking for?
Well,
Coin, I'd imagine.
I mean, I think for goods such as these, I think some coins should be sufficient. I don't need anything particularly rare for food. We need to make sure you eat. We can't have you people hungry on the road. That's just not right.
I appreciate that.
And realistically, you know, he mutters some numbers off. He's not really looking for anything that would be. It's just pocket
Normal.
change. So he'll give it over to you for an undisclosed but unneeded to be recorded amount of coin.
Okay. That was
Thank
going to
you.
be
So
my
there you go.
question.
So now you're
Many
back up.
thanks, sir.
So now you're back up to a 1d12.
Woohoo. Love to see it. Pin, do we need anything else?
I can't
Perhaps.
think of anything.
I mean, perhaps.
You're an East veteran traveler yourself, sir. Do you have any recommendations of wares that you think would be an unexpected benefit to our little group?
Well, He kind of looks around. I mean, I may have some magical trinkets. And so he runs back with his chest, heaves it up into the wagon, and it barely gets in there. And even in spite of it being empty, and climbs up into the wagon and comes back. I mean, listen, I don't really... You look like a stalwart group of adventurers, and unfortunately, I don't have magical arms and armor that your kind often look for, but, I have a few small trinkets. You may be interested in, I have, and so he just starts kind of rattling things off, and most of what he is describing is just relatively mundane but very interesting things. But the one thing that and I'm not going to read the whole list off because I don't want to bore anyone, but after, as you get through the list, he mentions that he does have a magical quill that will write things that you tell it to.
Ooh.
Oh my, that does sound very interesting.
It's unusual.
I mean, I could certainly part ways with it. I don't know how to use it.
Interesting.
But he kind of pulls it out of a bag, and it is a tall, very exaggerated feathered quill with like a big, like swirly, poofy feather on the end of it. And, if you just whisper the command word to it, it's supposed to just write whatever you tell it to write.
So you don't know the command word?
I was gonna
I
say,
don't know how to use.
If you don't know how to use it, how do you know that it works?
I saw someone use it, and then they gave it to me. But they were using it when I came up to them, so I don't really know.
I do an insight
You don't know the
check on
command
that.
word?
I'm not a wizard. I'm a merchant.
Can I do an insight
I don't know.
check on
I
that?
like him.
Yeah, you can do an insight check if you want.
Never mind, I rolled a 4, so whatever you say sounds good.
He seems genuine. I mean, listen, you don't have to buy it. But, I can understand it'd be tough for me to not give you it would be difficult for me if I didn't give you if I didn't give you the command word. Obviously, that would be difficult, but I would bet that guy in the top hat might be able to figure it out if he tried.
That's true. Preston is very smart.
Yeah.
Is he a wizard?
He's a wizard.
So, I've never seen a guy in a top hat like that wasn't a wizard. So, you
Now,
can...
you know what? That's fair. It's fair as heck.
It's possible that he could figure it out. But why don't we... I would part... What if you're interested in it, do you have anything for trade?
Oh, goodness. That's a good question. Well...
And if Pin doesn't know, Pin can look at the document in the Discord.
Oh, Pin does know everything. That's true.
And then Pin will
There's
know
only-
all of a sudden.
It's hard to flip through all the notes quickly.
I gave you a list.
Don't we have a Google Doc?
Yay.
What?
Don't we have a Google Doc?
Yeah, it's a Google Doc. That's linked in the Discord. But you could also just, I considering I don't know how it works, I would be willing to trade it for a story. Just entertain, we could sit and
Story, you say?
share stories and tell me something interesting that you've done. I might,
We can definitely tell a
entertain.
story.
It's been a long and boring trip these last few weeks because I haven't seen a soul. So I would gladly give up a trinket I can't use for a few moments of entertainment and company.
We have many stories. Been adventuring together for a long time.
Well, that sounds great.
I don't know, crew. What story do we have
can
to tell?
We could tell
We
the
could
one
tell him
about
the tale. of the that we just had with the
Sir, have you
merchant
ever
that
met
was
an
trapped
elf
in the
who
building.
slept?
A what?
What?
And he just jumps. This is an elf who slept? I mean, I think that's possible, but I've never met one.
Hi, my name is Talia.
You can sleep?
Just did it once. Wouldn't recommend it.
Well, I mean, that doesn't
It's a
sound
little
pleasant.
surreal.
I sleep every day,
There were
and I
no
love it.
colors except brown ones. Oh, well, you are welcome to it, good sir.
Wait, so when you slept, there was no colors?
People in the dream were colored, but the surroundings were all black and white, grayish.
It was a
Oh.
weird time.
Yes.
I mean,
I was
so
shunted to a plane of nothingness, all bright white. And then suddenly a jungle and a temple came into view. Black and white, gray, except for my companions who were all in faded color.
whoa. Okay, tell me more.
We walked towards the palace. None of us were armed. We were all dressed as if we had not been adventuring. It was bizarre. And upon entering this temple, snakes were slithering everywhere.
Snakes. Oh,
And
I'm
the
not a
sound
fan of
was-
snakes.
And no
Neither.
one should be, really. Sorry, snake fans. And they came. There were so many of them, and the noise was so loud and disquieting to the really soul that it almost sounded like they were laughing.
Oh, how rude.
It was horrific.
Snakes are already kind of rude to begin with because they just kind of come out of nowhere and scare you. And these guys were laughing at you at the same time. I disapprove.
Mhm. And but a great bright light of, shall we say, hope appeared, and the silhouette of 6 great heroes
6, you
within
said?
that light. Yes,
6 heroes? Okay.
6 heroes.
That's a lot of heroes for one snake.
I mean, it is. And all of a sudden, they turned to us, and we woke up.
Wait, so the 6 heroes turned to you guys and then you woke up?
Yes.
This is correct.
And not only did... So wait, so all of you woke up at once?
All of us
including
woke
the
up.
elf who can't sleep but did sleep?
Yeah. Yes.
Correct.
Man. And
How's that for a story? I was going to tell the one about the crab bake, but this one's way better.
I mean, the giant crabs is a good story.
Wait, I mean, giant crabs? Like, are we
Story.
talking like... So I've seen some
Crabs
giant crabs.
the
They're like,
size of your oxen.
Yeah, I was
What?
gonna say I was just gonna
No.
point at the elves.
Seriously. And
is
then we
a
had a
re-
big crab bake.
Yes.
oh, you defeated the crabs.
Oh, we did. And then we
course we
ate
did.
them.
That's how we learned that Odivera could make the most amazing crab cakes I've ever tasted.
Oh, man. And I would love crab cakes. Were they good crab cakes?
Were incredible. The best
they-
I've ever made.
The best you've ever made? You know,
With, of course, drawn butter and all.
Yes.
Of course.
listen,
It's
I've
in
been
fact
on the road.
why we carry a bucket of butter just in case.
In case the mood strikes us.
I've been eating trail rations for the past several weeks. So just thinking about clam or crab cakes sounds wonderful. These stories have been great. Here, take this, and I have to give you more. And so he gives the quill to Talia, and then he hops and spins and climbs up his little ladder. And then he climbs down with a chest, a small chest, a humble chest. And you'll find out what's in that chest next week in 2 weeks, because that is the end of our adventure for today. Thank you very much, everybody,
That's a
for
lovely ending.
playing. And thank you, everybody, for watching. We will be back next week for another episode of the Engaged Family Gaming Podcast, and then we'll be back in 2 weeks to continue their trip onward to Blackwater, this time, hopefully, with +1 wizard. And so, to my 6 players, 5 players, plus Michael, who took a break tonight, he needed it. Thank you very much for playing. It was a pleasure, as always. I will be back with you soon, and some of you I'll talk to in probably a half hour. So, everybody, have yourself a great night. We'll be back soon. Until then, don't forget to get your family game on. We'll see y'all soon. Bye.
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 Bye.